Using a pendulum to detect spirit attachments is fairly easy. But first I'm going to show you how to program your pendulum. I have my chain fairly straight and I want to program a yes. So I'm going to manipulate the pendulum just to give you an idea of what a yes looks like. And here we have the pendulum and it's circling in a clockwise direction. That's a yes. Now I place it down on the table, I let it fall, let it get still in between questions, and this is what a no looks like. It's swinging counterclockwise. Now there may be times where your pendulum wants to program its own yes-no. So if you're trying to program your pendulum for a yes and it's just swinging from side to side, accept that as your yes, because that's what the pendulum wants to do. If your no is front and back, then that's your no, and just accept that. Now there are times when the pendulum doesn't really know the answer, or the answer is unclear or undetermined, and so it may swing in kind of a diagonal. You didn't ask a really clear question, or the pendulum is just having trouble answering it. But most of the time, the pendulum, being governed by your higher self and your subconscious mind, will give you the correct answers. Okay, so there are times when people want a pendulum to give them answers that they want the pendulum to give. And when your pendulum does this, kind of shakes in place, that means you're trying to control it, and the pendulum wants to give you a different answer. Okay, so much for basic pendulum training. Now, when we ask about spirit attachments, when we're trying to detect them with the use of a pendulum, the very first question, and just quiet your mind and take a few deep breaths, make sure your pendulum is still, and then just ask the question, do I have some kind of a spirit attachment? Okay, so I'm just letting it go clockwise because I'm pretty sure I do right now. So it's telling me, yes, I do have a spirit attachment. Now there are friendly attachments that don't mean any harm and do not impact our lives, and then there are those that are malicious, or they just want to live vicariously through us and cause us to act in ways that we don't want to. So is my attachment friendly? And there you have it. It wants to say yes. But what if it wasn't? So I'm going to manipulate it. Is my attachment negative? And I'm making it go yes, just so you'll see. Or clear it again, is my attachment negative? And then it starts to swing counterclockwise. So you can determine friendly or negative spirit attachments. Okay. Is my spirit attachment someone that was once living? And it's interesting because it's kind of giving me I don't know or a maybe. How interesting is that? Okay, let's ask it again. Clear it. Is my spirit attachment someone who was once living? And I'm going to take that as a no, because there are many different kinds of spirit attachments. And you could also have an energy attachment, which is a past life attachment. So that could be going on. So one of the next questions you can ask, if you feel like you have a human spirit attachment, someone who once lived on Earth, is it a man? And it's going to a yes. Now you can clear it if you get a no, and then ask if it's a woman, and then see if it gives you a yes. And if it gives you a no, then you know you have something else going on. That could be a thought form of attachment. It could be a darker attachment, non-human. I hate to use that word demon or demonic, but it does happen. It could be an ET or a reptilian or a gray. So we don't know at this point. And that's how you can determine, do I have a reptilian attachment? And that's a no. Do I have any kind of ET or extraterrestrial attachment? And it's giving me a no. Do I have and I'm going to clear it here, do I have a negative thought form attachment that is causing me trouble at this time? And it really is wanting to give me a no on that, so that's good news. So I haven't really whittled down exactly what type of attachment that I have, so I'm going to ask again. Do I have a human spirit that is attached to me? And there is a yes. Did I know this person in life? And it's barely going counterclockwise, but it's telling me no. So somewhere along the way, I picked up a human spirit attachment. All right, it could have been at any time. So let's go to the next set of questions. When did you attach to me? Did you attach to me in the last 5 years? It wants to say yes. So sometime in the last 5 years it attached to me. Did you attach to me when I was vulnerable? And that's a resounding yes. Would you be open to dialoguing with me and finding out how I can help you? So that's a yes. Okay, that's wonderful. But let's say it didn't allow the last 5 years or whatever time parameters you set. Let's ask it this way. How old was I when I got my first spirit attachment? Was it between 0 and 3 years old? Interesting. It's having trouble with that, but it's saying no. And I'm not manipulating it at this point. Saying no. Okay, did my first spirit attachment happen from 3 to 8 years old? And it's giving me kind of a faint yes. So somewhere between 3 to 8 years old, I picked up an attachment. Now that attachment may have moved on a long time ago. I have no way of knowing. But for purposes of this movie, you can see how I'm narrowing down the time frames and what kind of attachment that may have occurred to me. Here's another question you can ask. Do I have an etheric cording embedded in my energy field that is no longer serving me? And I mean, it starts yes before I even finish the question. Now this could be from someone that was very close to me that died in my life 2 years ago. You know, so it could be I've still got some sort of cording from that relationship, and that wouldn't surprise me. I was just thinking about him when I was coming back from the grocery store just a little bit ago. Here's another thing you can ask. Do I have past life vows embedded in my energy field that I need to let go of? And this is a no, counterclockwise. And I'm not surprised at this answer because I've done a lot of work in the past on past life vows and releasing them. So I'm sure you have a lot of questions for me, but basically you can figure out the questions that you want to ask that fit your situation or what you suspect might be going on. And so I can't cover each and every situation here in this little short movie. But let's look at this, and I'm going to manipulate the pendulum for this because I really don't want you to freak out and get highly upset if you ask a question like this. Do I have a demon attached to me? And I'm going to make this go yes. Is this demon trying to hurt me? And I get yes. Now, you might be answering questions you've had in your head with this and fulfilling thoughts that you have a demon attached to you, or because you have a fear that is so great about demons attaching that you make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you really have to be careful about that. And as I said in class, demons are very rare, but they do occasionally happen. And when they do, there's absolutely no question as to what they are and when they are present within someone's energy field or trying to possess them. They're very overt. There's no question to it at all. So that's when you seek professional help. But like I say, that's very, very rare. People who go out ghost hunting and end up in very dark places are really open to attracting a very dark entity or even an angry spirit. And one should be very careful about protecting oneself, one's energy field, and then making sure you don't take any spirits home with you. Let's say, for example, you were in a cemetery at night and you just had no idea that you brought a spirit home with you. But I'll be covering that in How to Become a Ghost Hunter class coming up this spring. So I hope this helps you. I feel like the pendulum is an excellent tool. You can make your own with just thread and putting a ring at, tying a ring. They're a little more flimsy. Some people use monofilament thread, but if you don't have a pendulum yet, I suggest that you get one, get a crystal one, and one that has a good point on it, and then clear it. You can put it outside in the sun. You can put it out in the moon, on the full moon, let it collect female energy. The sun is male energy. Put it in sea salt water and clear it, especially if you order it online. Clear it before you ever use it, and then just make sure that you program your pendulum. There may come a time when it starts answering questions in a different way, so just ride with it when that happens. Don't use your pendulum to answer questions that are so dear to you that, it's just dire that you have the answer you want to hear, because you're not really going to get a true answer. So it's not even worth using it. That's when you might use your tarot cards. But remember, when it does this, you're trying to get it to say one thing and it wants to tell you another. So good luck with your pendulums, and we'll talk about this a little more in class 2.